All right, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is King of Cards Tarot Readings, here with a general collective message. You know how I fucking do. You know what I'm about. You know I'm always trying to see the good. You know I'm always trying to find the good. You know I'm always trying to make things better. This reading has me a little fucked up, honestly. Like, okay, here's my thing. I don't like indulging in jealousy. Okay? I wish the best on everyone. That's what this is about. But what trips me out that's on the cusp of that vibration is inequality. And that's not even the right word for it. It's this thing popped into my head earlier, and I'm seeing now how it relates to this. So I kept thinking, um, the exception is the rule, right? The exception is the rule. The exception is the rule. So, like, look at it. Look at the rules, all of them, any of them, wherever you are, okay? This happens this way. This can't happen. That's not allowed here. Fuck all that noise. Look for the exception. Who is allowed to do that? Who doesn't have to do that? And who brought that fucking here and nobody said anything? Come on. Look at that. Understand that. It's very important to everything that's going on right now, okay? I don't care what frame you look at reality through, okay? That's the whole point of King of Cards. You're all out there doing your thing. I'm not telling you what to believe or who to trust or who to feed or who to fucking, get right there. I'm just saying, what's the rule and what's the exception? Just look for that. Just take a fucking glance for that. And you'll see so much in so many places, okay? It's not exclusive. It's inclusive. All right? That's the whole point. It's like rules are made to stratify social orders. That's the whole point. And yeah, you can take it from a number of frameworks that are pre existing, that are based on like human categoricals. But that's not what I'm talking about, okay? I'm not talking about the many, many ways humans self segregate. That's not what I'm talking about. Because that's fine. That aspect is not a problem for me, okay? Like, I'm a fairly short person. I tend to, like, prefer short people. Tall people make me feel weird. I feel weird around tall people. But, like, now we're making rules about it. Do you see the difference there? Like, there's a big difference between me on a dating app saying I'm looking for someone who's shorter than like my maximum height, whatever that may be. You know? That's one thing. That's saying me, what I'm looking for, here's what it is. Versus like nobody over this height allowed in here? Like, what's that about? You know? It's about something different. It's not just self segregation, it becomes a stratifying mechanism. And yeah, I know there's a lot of you already working on many of these mechanisms in many different sectors, and I say go for it. But again, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about fixing what's broken. I'm saying, look, the exception is the rule. That's the rule. The rule is we make this exception for this person, for these people, for people who, when, whatever it is, I don't know. It's going to outpicture in many different ways. But this is all preamble to the flash reading, okay? So I'm saying, I, I don't indulge in jealousy. I think jealousy is a really good thing. If you feel jealous, that's a sign of what you should be working towards. I think I think it's a good motivation. However, there's a level that goes beyond desire and begins to try to limit others from having what they could have, would have otherwise. So I'm trying not to get personal, okay? It's hard for me not to when a reading like this comes through. All right? I know some of you felt it once before. There was a reading that really activated me, and again, it's not easy for me to communicate why that is. There's just certain configurations that elicit an amount of information to come through, a bandwidth that is not a simple, hey, look at this dynamic, or be aware of this aspect of the moment. But these are real deep well channels of info. And I have to let you know how fervent my response to this portal of information is. And that way, when the information comes out, it's not given the same weight as some of the other readings where I'm like, hey, here's the thing, take a look at it, easy to understand, go with it, move forward. If you miss it, whatever. If you catch it, good times, you know? Okay, I'm gonna try and get this flash reading off. I think I've done enough of pushing you into the state of mind that I'm in. So basically, I'm seeing an element of manipulation, okay? Now, this element of manipulation is pernicious because the cursory glance would say the manipulator achieves their happiness, okay? And I think that's a really dangerous way to frame this understanding, okay? Because, like I said, the exception is the rule. So it's not that the person who manipulates is able to achieve their happiness. It's that the person who is allowed to manipulate is allowed to achieve their happiness. And many people would not be allowed to manipulate, even in the beginning, much less achieve the happiness. But to the person who's given that freedom to just like do what they want, there's no amount of interference or cross manipulation that can keep them from what is being given to them, because it's already exempt for them. No one else can take it. If anyone else tries to take it, they will be enforced upon from all angles. Like, dude sleeping in the bush will hop out of nowhere and be like, hey, you can't have that. That belongs to the person we all have made exceptions for. And that's what frustrates me, because I know that if it was meant to belong to that person, they wouldn't have to manipulate to get it. And so I know that they are actually taking something that should belong to someone else. And it's not up to me to say who it should belong to, but I know the difference between this energy that I'm talking about, that I'm getting from this reading, and the energy of, wow, like that person deserves what they have. Like that is theirs. That is what should go to them. Like they are the one that should belong to. And look, I guess my hope for this channel has been, is, will probably continue to be, to clear a path towards a level of attainment, a level of enlightenment, a level of divine dispensation. I'm trying to, like, you ever see where they like roll over the grass and it like punctures holes in, and then I think it like behind that, it's like an aerator, they call it, maybe. Behind that, they sprinkle seed onto the newly aerated soil. Sometimes it's all in one. It pushes the seed in as it punctures the soil. But I think usually they like scatter seed over the aerated soil and then water it. Wow, I lost that. But okay, that's what I'm trying to do here. All of these readings are meant to funnel in, not to one specific point of arrival, but to make as much available as possible without overcrowding. And yeah, certain readings like this, there's a lot more coming through the reading. Because, okay, I can't go too deep. I need to give the reading. But, like, don't confuse the cards for the message or the reader for the channel that's being opened. Like, there's something very real at hand here that I'm trying to show you. And I can't speak for other readers, but it's like there's a difference between just looking at the cards and talking about normal, mundane human stuff and trying to tap into a higher level of what we're a part of, or trying to tap into a higher level that we want to be a part of, that wants to be a part of us. And like bringing things across that boundary, that veil. So, like I said, the flash reading is that there's a manipulation at hand all around us. The exception is the rule. Watch for it and understand that you can't just manipulate your way to happiness. But if you're given the pass, there's nothing you can do wrong. Now, situations change, and what's allowed to you today may not be allowed in the future, and it may come back to whatever. And many of these manipulators, it will. But that's not part of the guarantee here. The guarantee is whoever is being given the pass can get away with whatever they want. And yeah, okay. So I'll jump into the reading now. As a long preamble, right? So for our main issue, we have the Magus. Now, the Magus is about slight action and intentional effect. Doing something with a purpose, with an outcome in mind. This isn't simply desire. This is it's manipulation. It's doing something to get an effect. And it's the effect that decides the act. And that's why I have issues with this energy right now, is that it's moving sideways. It's as direct as it's being, that directness is being used for a sideways purpose. It isn't moving in the direction it is directing. It is directing attention in a direction so that it can slide around detection. Catch that, okay? And so I wish I could say to you, my beautiful collective, be the Magus, do what it takes to get what you want. But I can tell from this overall reading that that's not what this is saying. There's somebody else, okay? Someone who isn't you. For 95% of you, there may be some of you who happen to be this person and somehow you've come onto my channel. And to you, I'm going to say, look at it. Look at what you're doing. Look at how you use falsehood to accomplish goals. Yeah, that's something, okay? But to the rest of my collective, beware. Be aware. If this person is coming for you, they're keeping you from your destiny. And if they are someone involved with your destiny, there's nothing you can do. You are excluded from this dynamic. This person has gotten the pass from whoever it is they're involved with. This may be the person you want to be with. This may be the job you want to get. This may be someone who has influence over the people who make decisions for you. Either way, right now, it's looking like you can't do anything to impact this situation. You are, yeah, you're helpless right now. It's hard for me to get that much from a single card before I start to go into the rest of it, but that's what lets me know how serious this is. Because, look, this card has come up before, and it wasn't a big deal. It really wasn't. Someone will remember that. from a couple weeks ago. But in this configuration, that's what it's telling me. There's somebody who is just messing up the machinery left and right, and everybody's talking about them, talking to them, listening to them. And the best thing you can do is, I don't even know, like, don't interact with this person at all. Pull back. Like, if you can stay away from them, that's better. Uh, but they're going to send messages to you through other people. So that's the problem. Like, you can avoid them, but even then, you can't avoid them. So, I mean, maybe there's a level of if you can be direct and let them know what's going on. But even that, like, they can turn that to their advantage. There's nothing you can do that they can't frame to the social group through their manipulative lens. So you might have to just exit the whole situation. Honestly, whatever this person's plugged into, if it's a church, if it's your school, like, just you're better off elsewhere. Cut ties if you can. But if you can't, then you just have to endure this, and we'll see what developments arise over the next like couple of days. I'll be watching for this. I mean, this is telling me this is a turning point right now. This is the most important thing out of everything that's come before this. Like, this person, they are driving the bus, okay? And if you try to drive the bus, everyone's going to pull you out of the driver's seat and put them back in. If they decide they want to take a break from driving, everyone's going to wait for them to be ready again. It's fucked. I'm sorry. This is the most frustrating reading I've seen so far. I hate it. Honestly, it's like the thing I hate the most, but whatever. Guess that's what I'm dealing with. So, for our right hand opposal, our positive influence or future state, we have the lovers in reverse. Yeah, so this is telling me basically, like, things are out of sorts. Like, things are in approximate placements instead of appropriate placements. Appropriate placements. Like, things are being forced to fit together, or like crammed into spaces where they don't align, or they're being, like, instead of being put into the space where they fit together, they're being put in separate boxes. It's like, yeah, things are not where they're supposed to be. Things are out of order right now. I'm trying to find the good in this, because this is our positive influence. We'll see. We'll run the spectrum. Okay, and then our left opposal, we have Seven of Swords, which is called futility. And this is about, yeah, again, basically, unlike interference, the eight, in which a small amount of effort can overturn a large amount of effort, this is saying no amount of effort can change this dynamic. It is locked in, rock solid, gravity like. You can fight it, but fighting it is simply succumbing to it. Yeah, nothing you do can pull you out of this gravity well right now. Damn, this sucks. Okay, so let me see. The spread from the futility to the lovers in reverse. What is that saying? Yeah, there's really nothing you can do. This is a hopeless moment. Damn. This is bleak. Okay. The one thing I see that could be positive here is that there may be something available to you in this moment of things being out of sort that would not be available to you if everything were in its right place. So I do think if you can find that thing, there is something here for you. Fuck, I need to figure out what that is for me. Um okay, that's the one redeeming aspect I see here. So, for our deck top card, we have the 9 of cups called happiness. And so this is about like an optimum level of operation of flow. Interesting. Yeah. So it's like everybody's happy with the manipulator and their manipulations because to a certain degree it allows people to not feel guilty about their own inability to like self arrange. So they can be like, oh, well, so and so said we shouldn't do that. Or like, so and so told me I should do this. And so they're able to absolve themselves of responsibility because this manipulator is like bearing the burden of all the decision making. Interesting. And so, if you can find your own happiness within this spectrum, that's, I guess, my best advice. Get out or find what can make you happy that maybe isn't what's supposed to be for you, but it's what's available in this disordered configuration. Yeah, I feel it drop off there. I'm gonna let it go, leave it at that. It's it's honestly it's more everybody's fault that this manipulator has so much power than it is this manipulator's fault that they have so much power. That's the thing. I'm not mad at the manipulator, honestly. What I'm mad at is the fact that this manipulator gets to be the exception to the rule instead of if we were following the rules, everything would be in its right place. Even for this manipulator, like they would have what they need, but because the exception is the rule, the exception rules over everything, and everything has to obey the whims of someone who doesn't even really want to be in control. And things that should be together are kept apart, and things that shouldn't be together are held together. So, best of luck, everybody. Honestly, fuck. But tomorrow's a new day. We'll have a new reading. We'll see. We'll see what the cards have to say. Maybe things will have shifted now that you know what we're up against or what's going on or who to put your awareness on and how to maybe even tip those scales away from the current configuration. Okay, so I've said it before and I will say it again. Please like and subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can be alerted when new messages drop. This has been King of Cards Tarot Readings. Stay safe out there, and until next time, I'll see you real soon.